Brings us on to Anton LaVey, 1930s, 1997. Good innings, almost, yeah. Founder of the Church of Satan, which was founded on...
In 1966?
On the 30th of April, 1966, which is Walpurgis Nacht.
What's that?
It's that kind of a German thing. Hitler was very into Walpurgis Nacht.
Did he wait till 66 on purpose?
Yes, he did. It was the most evil year.
Wouldn't that be 1666?
Well, it's the best we've got.
He didn't have a time machine. He didn't have a DeLorean.
Satan's crap.
It's Doc Satan.
Even Doc's got a DeLorean.
What do you want? He was...
Oh no, somebody pointed out a mistake to me. Well, not really a mistake. In the perfect movie, Back to the Future, the first one, and the opening scene where Doc's like, "The Libyans! I don't know how they found me." He's got his fucking name plastered and his fucking business details on the side of his fucking van. Probably just looked you up in the book, Doc. Fuck. Sorry, anyway. Movie's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really like the films.
Okay. We won't go there then.
The first one's alright. The second one... We've discussed it before.
Why the fuck Biff shouldn't be working.
Exactly. It's all bullshit. I think I actually proclaimed my distaste for those films on numerous occasions on air.
Okay.
Right. Founder of the Church of Satan, the first organised church in modern times. Oh God, that's a big word. I'm going to take a second over this.
Here we go.
Yeah. Promulgating. Thanks, college boy.
Is that a sex act?
I don't know what it means.
It's a religious philosophy championing Satan as a symbol of personal freedom and individualism. Unlike the founders of other religions who claimed inspiration developed through some supernatural entity, LaVey readily acknowledged that he used his own faculties to synthesize Satanism based on his understanding of the human animal and insights gained from earlier philosophers who advocated materialism and individualism. Concerning his role as founder, he said if he didn't do it himself, someone else less qualified would have. He was also a mean organ player, but not in the way that Crowley enjoyed an organ, let me tell you that. And I'm going to play you a little clip. I'll have to wait for my...
This isn't going to invoke some kind of demon, is it?
There's a 50-50 chance.
Awesome.
50-50 chance.
Is my bumhole going to be okay?
50-50 chance.
I've got my favourite Optimus Prime shorts on.
I did have this saved. I just edit this out. Don't worry about it.
It's still good. Leave it in. It shows everyone how proficient we are.
Exactly.
We're fucking rebels. I don't care. We're not polished.
And his calliope, which is like a series of organs, basically. Yeah. The musical kind, though. Not the masturbatory kind.
He was a hermaphrodite.
Oh, God, I need a girlfriend. Can I use the podcast to try and get going? Sorry, guys. Can I have my own section at the end where I just try and... Please ignore all the weird things I've just said.
He's going to play the Big Top medley.
It's creepy as fuck.
That is the founder of the Church of Satan.
Oh, no.
You hate clowns?
I can deal with the music.
He's playing that on purpose to be deliberate.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's... yes. And he basically wrote the Satanic Bible, which I have been trying to read.
Ben is holding aloft
a
physical copy
of the cursed book.
It's not the cursed book. It's a self-help book, basically. That's what it boils down to.
It's like The Secret.
Yes.
I fucking read that.
So he kind of...
Yeah. I believed it as well for like 2 weeks. I'm sorry. I was at a low point in my life. And fucking some wrestler called Ryback got fired from the WWE and then rehired, and they were interviewing him, and they were like, so what happened? And he's like, oh, I read this amazing book called The Secret, and it really worked for me. And I was like, fuck! And yeah, I bought it hook, line, and sinker.
That's the laws of attraction.
Yeah, it's basically just think positive, and life will be better. It's not saying you can. I don't believe you can manifest things. But then there's whole videos.
I think it might be difficult to peddle that in the concentration camps.
PMA, guys. Positive mental attitude. Okay, you can get through this.
I'm going to
now put out your wrist while I tattoo it. I don't know why my God is. I don't know why my God is American. But yeah, sorry.
I'm going to read the end.
They had concentration camps too.
Yeah, they did. Well, internment camps, I think, internment camps, there's a little difference.
Yeah, well, we invented them, the British.
Yeah, we did.
We fucking invented everything, bro. We rock.
We did. And it was, sadly, in its entirety, really rather clever and ingenious, but it was also resulted in the deaths of a lot of people and was terrible.
No,
Why have it clever and ingenious?
Because we were fighting a guerrilla war, probably the first ever guerrilla war, and our guys were wearing bright red coats and white pith helmets, and their guys were hiding in the mountains with rifles that matched ours, in sort of wearing sort of darker colours to blend in with the scenery and sniping our officers first, and we decided that was thoroughly unsporting.
Yes.
But because these guys moved around on horseback and blah blah blah, you know, outflanking us all the time, getting behind us, stealing our tea, that kind of thing. But one carried off Lieutenant General's Johnny's leg the other day. It's just a trophy item. We decided that to make them come out into the open to fight us where we could win, we'd round up all their women and children, put them in internment camps and slowly starve them to death.
Nice.
It worked because they came out into the open to fight, knowing they had no choice, and we won, effectively.
Well, it's very cunning.
It's entirely cunning. Evil, but cunning.
Cunning and evil. But it worked. So are you're going to read me
I'm going to read you the prologue, the end of the prologue from the book, and then I'm going to do later on we'll do the 9 satanic statements, which these are basically the satanic 10 commandments.
Learning Satanism with them.
Oh, yes. Gather round, children. Gather all ye old and young. Come round.
All children and goats.
I was going to say.
Kids, step back from this one, please. These are difficult times we live in, and I'd rather not have to be tarred with that brush. No longer shall man's salvation be dependent on his self-denial, and it will be known that the world of the flesh and the living shall be the greatest preparation for any and all eternal delights. Reggae Satanis, Ave Satanis, Hail Satan.
He just said reggae.
Yeah. I think it's
fucking cool. 1966, reggae was a thing by then.
I hate reggae.
I quite like reggae.
Oh, it's all got the same bloody tune to it. And everyone basically just ripped off Bob Marley, put that little guitar in there, and just sang about peace. That was it. I'm sorry, I can't.
What's wrong with songs about peace?
There's nothing wrong with them. What everyone's doing, it gets a bit samey, and they're all using the same bloody song.
There's a rat in my kitchen. What am I gonna do? Satan!
Exactly. That's what we need to see.
Satanic reggae.
Yes, we need to form a satanic reggae band. That's what we need to do.
I put the coke in the goat.
No, this isn't. We're moving away from
the coke from the goat.
We're moving away from Crowley now.
Oh, sorry.
Crowley would not have enjoyed this because basically
too tame for him.
It's far too tame
None
for
of
him.
cocks.
None of cocks. And basically, it's not about it. This is like it's a bit of a mix between the atheistic and the theistic in a way, because it's saying, while it's saying that Satan is a figurehead and it is a deity, you're also saying that I don't believe in that deity, even though it's the figurehead of my church. But I'm going to live, and it's all about myself. I'm making myself the deity.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the 9 satanic statements, and you can jump in with shit.
No problem.
Right? Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Well, we know about your adventures last night, so yeah.
Yeah.
You live in that one.
I was very satanic last night.
Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams.
Okay.
Yeah. Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit.
I like that.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates.
Boom! I bet you didn't see that coming, did you, home listeners?
Yeah.
Kindness and love from Mr. Satan Balls.
Mr. Red Bollocks himself. Or Green Bollocks.
Only those deserving. Only those deserving.
Which, you know, yeah, that's kind of like being nice, but don't be a pussy. Like, you know, if someone's undeserving.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, love the ones that love you, kind of, I guess. That's not, I'm down for that. Again, so far so good. Mike, I'm feeling pretty satanic. How about you?
Not the last one for me.
No.
Satan represents vengeance as a turning the other cheek. I like that one. I'm always up for a bit of vengeance in my hell.
I'm afraid that's Gandhi eye for an eye. Turn the world
Yeah,
right.
but Gandhi was a prick.
You won't hear insightful.
Oh, come on, he's just
Jesus
between
Christ.
2 teenage girls.
So far.
He's just sleep between two teenage girls that test his abstinence, so he's really fondling the shit out of them.
You just shit in the face of reggae and then cock slapped Gandhi.
Yeah, nappy wearing fuck.
you just want war. War and death now.
Just because I want a throne made of skulls, I've mentioned this previously. Does not make me a warmonger.
It could be plastic skulls.
They could be, but it wouldn't
Look
be.
aside natural causes.
They could be. Yeah, who knows? Grave robbing's a crime, but, you know.
Okay.
Um,
You're worse than Satan.
Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. Now that one's throwing me a little bit.
That one's a bit. Hey, we've gone from nice, kind of rooted, grounded. Let's be nice, and if you want a bit of vengeance, somebody punches you, stab him.
Yeah. No, just punching back.
To
There's something wrong with that.
Psychic fucking vampires. Like.
I think it's like you're responsible.
Do I fight them back with telekinetic fucking garlic? What? I don't know if telekinetic is a word.
Telekinetic.
Yeah.
Telekinetic. See, this is the problem.
Just think of God. It's in their head.
Oh my God, he's got garlic powers.
To develop your powers, you have to sleep at night with a clove of garlic taped to your forehead.
Is that how you do it?
It helps your third eye.
Third eye with garlic.
Third eye garlic.
Oh.
It's all good.
I think it's more like
That's an name of a new reggae. Satanic reggae band. Third eye garlic.
Third Eye Garlic. Actually, you kind of rip off Monster Magnet. They had a song called Third Eye Landslide. And, you know, I like the Monster Magnet. Third Eye Blind. Yeah, whatever. I like them. Third Eye Landslide.
No, all about the band.
Oh, fuck them. They want to use Monster Magnet.
Satan. So,
No, it's okay. We're coming back down to a little bit now. Come back down to more sort of
hang on. Any further thoughts before we let that go?
I can only think.
Psychic
I can only
vampires?
think that it kind of means you represent responsibility to responsible people. So you're giving responsible people responsibility instead of and saying, you know what, people who like leech at you, like you hate, and
Is that meritocracy?
kind of
Meritocracy.
Yeah, meritocracy.
Who's responsible?
Well, I'm quite responsible.
Who are we to judge who's responsible?
Exactly.
I was very responsible last night. So
You're still alive.
Yeah, nobody died.
There you go.
Nobody. I died on the inside a little bit this morning.
Well,
As I said to Ben, I
reckon some psychic vampires.
somewhat foolishly, worse than psychic vampires. I took my niece to see Spider-Man today at 1 PM, whilst sort of horrendously coming down, and and obviously trying not to let my niece know. And this cinema was full of fucking kids, and kids don't shut the hell up. Like, a 2-hour movie, I reckon, like 40 minutes of action spread out across, you know, there's a lot of character and talking, and it was all good, but I didn't need to hear their freaking chatter over the top of it too. And can a kid get through a 2-hour film that needed a piss? No, I swear every kid with every parent got up at some fucking point during this film. Anyway.
That planning for Marvel, that is. They should base their films on kids' bladders.
Yeah, they should literally time it out.
Yeah.
But go see it anyway.
Why
it is
don't
good.
they have what do you call it when you have a break? Interlude.
Yeah, we'll get the cigarette girl coming around too.
They used to have that, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Fox says, what were they?
yeah, because
Psychic vampires.
Because if you had an interlude, right, there'd always be some cunt, usually fucking you, who'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I was strolling late, I'll enjoy another fag. Whereas like, and you just stroll past, you fucking make people get up, you stroll in 5 minutes after the fucking break. You know what I mean? It's just annoying for everybody.
Yeah. Don't buy a large Coke.
Yeah. Basically, there's your motto. Have a piss before you go in.
And here's a hint.
Don't bring your goat to the cinema.
Yeah. Before I forget,
Or
if you
cocaine.
do buy a fucking drink from the cinema, they are told, the people who work there always say no ice. They're told to fill the cup a third of ice. They're instructed to do that. You look how much fucking ice you get to the cinema.
Yeah.
No ice.
We discussed how the 1970 statements kind of veered off with the psychic vampire thing.
Yeah, that threw us for a loop.
Certainly did. But number 7. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine, spiritual and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all.
I agree. Now, sometimes I look at my dog, right, and I think, you little fucker. Happy little bastard, because he has got no fucking concept of the fact that his time on this earth is limited. That every day his little fucking meat carcass is getting more and more decayed, and that, he doesn't sit there and agonise over like, oh, did I chase enough stuff today? Did I? Maybe I should have took one more shit. Like, fuck no. And because of that, he's happy as fuck. He's happier than me. He's got a better quality of life than me.
He gets 3 meals a day. He gets some hours of sleep.
Right, my cat's the same.
The cat's the same. He's happy as fuck.
Look how fat he is.
But and this whole like
he's actually given up on life more than anything.
Being human is so great. It's not that fucking great.
Consciousness is a bit of a burden.
Yeah, I don't think it's that
terrible.
fucking good, really.
Why do you think all like the Far East, Buddhism and all that, they clear the mind so that they aren't thinking about them things that stress you out, that make you anxious?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but that's kind of what he's saying, isn't it?
It's like they're trying to become the cat or the dog.
Yes, there is no spoon. Yeah, I totally agree with that one. I'll read it again, sorry. Let me...
Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine, spiritual and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all.
Definitely, yes, I agree with
divine and spiritual, it's not...
It's divine and spiritual. It's divine and spiritual. It's more like, because we think we believe in a higher power, we're moral.
And there are probably animals out there that live, a lot of animals that live more worthwhile lives than
hey, if you're a dog and you enjoy chasing stuff and doing all that and going for a walk and cocking your leg and doing all the doggy stuff, you're having a fucking great time.
If you're slaving in a warehouse or...
You're slaving in a fucking warehouse in a tin shed in 30-degree heat. Let me tell you about that. That ain't fucking
making
fun.
toys for those dogs.
Sending
the toys that we
sending
buy
out stuff for a fucking office that people like Gaz are delivering. Travelling to the centre of
I'm ordering.
You're ordering, you twat.
Sitting in my tin can on wheels.
Sitting in my classroom ordering station.
Making me walk further down fucking picking aisles and all sorts of shit.
I'm making you carry the recycling.
Yeah, you wanker. So when you send your soul to fucking Satan, I haven't got one, you ginger bastard.
Just because gingers are all soulless husks.
Well, you're having a better time than the human.
Calm down or I'll fucking put the ball to 100 watt and see you fucking burn.
Well, what if my dog does think those things but he just can't communicate it to me and maybe he's not having such a good time after all? Well, that would break my heart to know that he cries at night.
Why has no one made a dog or a cat translator? There's got to be some kind of language there.
I talk to my cat.
I talk to my cat. I talk to my dog, sorry, even though he's too young to understand.
It's fairly easy to understand my dog, to be honest. There's like, how that hurt, like, fuck off, whatever
I'm
you are.
hungry.
Like, oh, a bit of an excited one. Yeah, he hasn't got much of a vocabulary, to be honest.
No, the cat's got about 5 or 6 different sort of pitches and lengths of variation of trill, and I know what he's the way he's trilling is what he wants.
All right, you cat whisperer now, are you?
You just learn it. You
What's
know
that? Ben's tripped over with the recycling and it's stuck in the stairwell.
Oh, well, I'll sit here then.
I'll go and rescue him. I'll sit here. No, fuck him.
Fucking pleb.
I've seen his other sides as well. It's like, just because I know he's angry, not just because of his trill, Probably because he's got his fucking claws out about to attack him. You have to because you live with each other.
Hey, you know, you're bros. It's fine. I talk to the dog, and the thing is, I don't talk to it in this voice. I talk to it in a really weird, irrational voice that if I did now, I'd be horrendously
I talk to my dog like he's a child and I'm his doting father.
Me too.
Well, they have got the brains of toddlers.
Single ladies become cat ladies. Men get dogs.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same psychological process. It's something to look at.
We realise also it's nice to have someone who's happy to see us. No matter what happens or how shit your day is, the dog's always happy to see you. Like, fair play, man.
Did I mention my girlfriend left?
I'm happy to see you though. It's all right.
I really appreciate the dog, you know, for like that few seconds when I walk in. Yeah, that's worth all the money in dog food, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
Easily.
But I still think he's a little fucker for being happier than me, basically. You know.
Well, he hasn't created a god yet. You're his god that way.
Yeah, basically. And I agree with this thing that let's not just instantly presume as humans that we're better, that we are the top of the... Because when it comes to physically, we're very low down. We lose out to a fuckload of things.
It's only a mastery of semi-automatic weapons that kept us on
no guns, no weapons. We're fucked against pretty much anything physically. And in terms of, I would say, nobility... Most animals live more noble lives than most humans. They don't cause much destruction to the planet or their environment around them. They take what they need, you know, and then something takes them, usually.
Well,
they're all part of the
spiritual balance.
And, you know, it's all quite, you know,
and
nice.
we come in and we've upset the fucking balance.
Yeah, and think we're the fucking dog's bollocks. Now, don't get me wrong, I like humans. I'd rather fuck one than a goat. I'd rather hang out with a human than a goat. But yeah, I just do agree with that let's maybe not presume, think that we're such... Billy big bollocks because we've got these big old brains. Look at us, but you don't see a chimp having an existential crisis, do you? Like in the middle of the jungle, thinking, "I fucking wasted my life."
We don't know they don't. In all fairness, we don't know they don't. I mean,
I watched something about chimps throwing stones at trees today.
Oh, about a funeral thing. Yeah, I've heard that before. That they were all ritualistically throwing stones at the same tree, and they figured out it was a grave or something. Do I remember it right? Or
I'm not sure.
It was something. They were doing something ritualistic, basically.
But they bury their dead now.
No, I think I may have that wrong.
It was like a religious thing where they threw stones at this tree.
At the exact same.
And they think it was like they don't know why exactly, but they think it's like the tree's like a deity, and then they're giving it gifts. And I think that's the chimps could be religious.
So what you're telling me is, if I go to a chimp sanctuary, I could technically become their god if I disguise myself as a tree.
Possibly. But I think that particular, I don't know what a group of chimps is called.
Oh, shit.
A brace of chimps. I have
Isn't
no
it
idea.
a senate? A senate of chimpanzees.
The Congress of Baboons.
That's right. Yeah. I completely got that confused, didn't I?
So, a Parliament of Baboons.
Parliament of Baboons.
No.
Parliament of Owls.
Where? I don't know.
A Congress
Is
of
that a
Baboons.
real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought we were just making fucking...
Why does everyone assume that owls are really wise?
I thought we were just doing political puns. Okay.
Why does everyone assume owls are really wise? I don't care if this doesn't make it in. I'm just curious. It's like, why does everyone assume that owls are wise?
Because I've seen one fly straight into the side of a fucking barn, and I'm pretty sure it died.
You know,
I don't know what happened, but it flew straight into it.
I'm just curious. Maybe it's Disney.
Do they live to the... Well, well, not most, but a lot of our ideas about some animals do come from stupid shit like that, pop culture things, and they're completely false. I don't think there's ever actually been an actual photograph of a lone polar bear on a single, little tiny piece of ice just big enough for its feet, like separated from the...
just jump
we
in
have that image. I have no fucking idea how we got there.
Yeah.
Polar bears, animals, boom.
Yeah.
Tie it all
What
together.
happened to the polar bear Lost? No one ever knows.
No, they don't.
Never watched it.
Did they shoot it?
It's another thing I didn't watch.
Maybe they did.
Didn't they shoot it in the first episode?
Did
They
they?
came in the big trees and they had like one pistol with like one magazine off the air marshal guy who was dead and they shot it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I never really watched that show. It sucked.
Never watched it. I don't watch the TV.
Right, number 8. Satan represents all of the so-called sins as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. So kind of...
Repeat that.
Satan represents all of the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of get behind. It's like nothing's too bad.
The sin is
well, basically, isn't that do what thou wilt? It's just written differently. Do what you want.
But isn't a sin? Is it a sin to do it, or is it the fact that you do it in excess? Is the sin?
And what sins like the
I think
the seven deadly ones?
Yeah, the seven deadly ones.
Pride,
Yeah.
gluttony, wrath,
Sloth.
Isn't that Christian? But he's saying that they're all right though.
greed.
What's he saying? That they're all right?
Yeah.
In moderation.
Yeah. Do it. It's good for you.
I don't know, because some of those sins aren't that good for you, are they?
No, that's
No, excess isn't good. Gluttony isn't good for you. Sloth isn't good for you.
No.
Gluttony and sloth together is fucking lethal. You end up as a rather large.
I could make an ex-girlfriend joke.
And then next pride in there, you're prideful.
I'm proud. I'm proud.
I'm gluttonous sloth. I'm proud of it.
I'm proud that I'm physically fused to my sofa by a mix of sweat, dead skin, and excrement. And when I'm dead, they'll have to take down the front of my house to get me out.
And of course, you're wrathful, so anything that comes near you, kill.
Yeah. And eat usually.
Why is pride a sin?
Pride's the biggest sin of them all.
What? If you do something good, you can be proud of it, can't you?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, but where does it lead you though?
Oh, it leads to the dark side, doesn't
Just
it?
a little pat on the back.
Doesn't it? There was like
A little pat on the back and maybe a power wank.
Or danger wank, depending on who you're doing.
I'm about another month or so away from that.
He's been with your girlfriend recently.
Oh yes, I don't know if I mentioned it.
just checking over. Just checking over.
Well, what's the opposite to pride? Humility?
I guess so.
No, the opposite of pride would be
shame.
Shame.
Or less
Yeah,
pride, as the Simpsons said.
Less pride.
No, I mean like on
I know, it was less shame. What's the opposite of shame?
Wouldn't it
Less
be the
shame.
exact opposite? Because if you were proud of something you'd done, the exact opposite would be ashamed of what you've
Yeah,
done.
it has to be shame, yeah. Shame's not good for you, though.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, you don't feel ashamed.
What I'm trying to say, no, but the good.
Don't be proud
the good
that
aspect
you
of
murdered
opposite,
a child.
The good aspect that is opposite of pride, I would say, would be humility.
Mm.
You're humble.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that was a better trait than being proud.
I just think being pleased with yourself if you've done something good.
Yeah.
Why is it like Hitler's sitting there and he's murdered 6 million Jews? He's proud
Yeah,
of
but
it.
that's not something good, is it?
Yeah, that's the end
But
defining.
if he was humble, he would never
That's
do
the
that.
question of the end defining.
but let's say I then came along and I dedicated my life to helping out the families of the victims of what Hitler did, like, and just completely dedicated my entire life to being charitable and helping these people. Could I not feel a bit proud of that? Like,
To an extent.
That's selfish, isn't it? That's absolutely selfish. Every right.
You're also being humble because you're helping people less fortunate than yourself.
I
think we're getting bogged down in semantics, college boy.
And I have been lucky enough once upon a time to, in terms of a woman, punch well above my weight. I was well proud of myself for that period of my life. I don't think that's a bad thing. Although when she left me,
there you go.
I did feel
what comes before pride?
Before.
What comes before force?
But if you can learn to break your fall with copious amounts of lager and other things, for a while, for a time, that won't work out long term, guys. Don't take my advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm literally wearing Optimus Prime shorts, and I'm 34 years of age. So I'd take everything I say with a bit of a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
And did I mention we drink while we do this? So yeah, sorry.
The last one. Last one. It's not so much as it's a statement, but it's not hardly a commandment. The other others have kind of been a guide to how you live. This one is just more of a. I've read this a few times and sort of just been puzzled by it. Why did he put that in there? It's quite bad. But it's number 9. It's almost like he was struggling for the last one. Once he put 9. 9's like kind of a mystical number, isn't it? In a way, it's like some kind of ancient magic.
6.
He needed 9.
Yeah, well, maybe that's it. Upside down 6.
I don't know.
But Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years.
Yeah, the boogeyman.
It's
true, but isn't that also? It's true, but I get what you're saying. That that just seems a bit unnecessary. That's like an unnecessary little dig at the church, isn't it? That you didn't need to.
I don't mind having a dig at the church.
But it's like all the others were quite lofty, and then the last one's a bit like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The handbags are done,
Yeah.
I think, in the last mic drop.
Yeah.
Fuck you, religion. Fuck you, Christianity. Mic drop.
Yeah,
and
we kept you in business all these years,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, you should.
Walks off the stage. It's a bit, yeah. It seems a bit out of step with the previous 8. I think it's true. You know,
Oh,
there's some
absolutely.
truth in it.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I agreed with a lot of those, to be fair. And I bet if anyone's listening didn't know anything about the Satanic Bible, would have probably, like me, assumed it was all, you know, a bit like Crowley or something, you know. But it's all actually quite positive, quite like, you know.
well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's basically saying like you don't. You're what's matter. It's a selfish message in a way because it does say you're what matters.
Yeah.
And if you can be around people like that, then you know you'll do fine. But at the same time, that leads to other shit. Because if you're around selfish, greedy, prideful people, because none of the sins are the 7 deadly sins are out the window here.
Yeah.
You're going to become a selfish, greedy, vain person.
Yeah, that's obviously what I would imagine is the whole of the organisation, isn't it? That's their.
But they do a lot for charity. I mean, genuinely in the wake of the there was terrorist shootings in America. I think the gay nightclub one, where the guy just sort of opened up, and then there was another husband and wife did something as well, didn't they? The Church of Satan members are offering to escort Muslims to where they wanted to go in case they were terrified of being attacked.
Okay, that could just be good PR.
Oh no, because they're offering that out on social media, so it's like
you're being cynical about it.
Oh no, I just think it's like trying to be better than what certainly the Christian church isn't.
I think a lot of churches. You know,
well, you look at the Westboro Baptist Church.
Well, that's
you know that, but this is what we're talking about. It's who you us three here aren't going to go and attack a Muslim over a terror attack, right? We're just not, because we know that every Muslim isn't a terrorist, right? Your right-wing Christian redneck. No, apologies to Americans. That's a stereotype, but it's also a fact in a way. Some of these people are dangerously uninformed.
Yeah.
Would go out their way to attack a Muslim walking down the street because they're brown, so therefore they're bad. And it's not their fault in a way because they've been fed propaganda. But if you've got a bunch of people saying, well, you know what, we're white and we're going to stand with you, that's only a good thing.
Yeah, but you get a lot of Christian organisations that do help. It's not all. It's not everybody's extreme right wing that don't like Muslims.
Well, no, but that's even in this country, a guy throws some acid in the face of a Muslim girl.
Well, let's say there's some people who's genuinely.
No reason at all.
When they ran that Muslims down at the.
Yeah, but we're not innocent in all of this by any stretch. There's always fanatics and they've been brainwashed.
Lost my train of thought. But these Satanists, Church of Satan. People that were helping these Muslims, if they were genuinely following those 9 things that we just read out, then they're not doing anything, not sacrificing any animals, they're not, there's nothing in there about being evil and, so if they genuinely believe that stuff and follow that stuff, then maybe they were genuinely trying to do a nice thing. And
maybe.
And there's always going to be an element of PR to it.
Yeah.
But, and
I guess that's more the atheistic.
Yeah, you'd argue that the Church of Satan is more atheistic because
they don't believe in a deity.
It's basically Satan is a
symbols, aren't they, of human traits?
Yeah, effectively. Yeah, it's more about making yourself better. I mean, they've got a whole religious organisation here, which in theory I don't really agree with because it's an organisation. But if it's not,
they're actual physical buildings.
What's their mission? Was that their mission statement sort of thing? 9 things.
Well, I mean, there's a whole sort of list. I mean, there's 11 satanic rules of the earth, 9 satanic sins. We'll go through these. The 11 satanic rules of the earth. Right? Do not give opinions or advice unless you're asked.
That's quite good. Yeah.
Do not tell your troubles to others unless you're sure they want to hear them. When in another's lair, show him respect, or else do not go in there.
In his lair?
In his lair? I have a lair. Don't you have a lair?
I like the use of the word lair.
I have a cave with bones through there. Don't go in my lair.
It's got an evil connotation.
Yeah, a lot of cool guys had lairs.
Most people would say, come to my domicile.
Quiet, college boy. This is where it gets a bit darker here now.
Okay.
Right?
So I was going to say the first two are just basically social advice.
The first three are pretty good.
Yeah, but they're just basically social advice, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
This is how to not annoy people.
Yeah.
Like, this is how to get friends.
If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. So that's almost like First Amendment gun right, not the First Amendment, the old gun laws. Yeah, it's all because you can shoot him, don't worry about it.
And without mercy.
Without mercy.
Wow. Finish him!
There we go. But then we come back. Do not make sexual advances unless you're given the mating signal. So don't rape people.
Please tell me what the mating signal is.
I don't know. It doesn't say. It does not say.
I haven't been able to see it for a while.
It's a spotlight that goes up in the sky and there's like a pair of tits. And then it changes to a cock. And then it goes up to a pair of tits. And then
I'm looking.
You won't see it now, but it's still live.
Oh, no. Okay, well, that's fucking very good advice for everyone involved, isn't it? It's not necessarily advice that should need to be given.
No, but
yeah,
it's there, isn't it?
Fair play.
Yeah. We're about to
Maybe
say...
not every man is as for any ladies listening, as refined as us three gentlemen currently in the room.
Yes.
Drunk and high. And
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But yeah, okay. So that's back from the,
Back from crazy.
Back from if, your mate's around your house and he, I don't know, knocks over a drink, beat him to death with a phone book.
Yeah. Even if he's crying for mercy.
But then, when his grieving widow comes round, do not come onto her unless she gives you the mating signal.
Unless she gives you the eye.
Oh, yeah. Which I guess is just dropping a kex and screaming, Satan!
Yes.
Okay.
Nice Clint Eastwood impression. Do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and he cries out to be relieved.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, you got no issues with that, have you?
No.
If someone said to me, here, take £1 million because I feel really burdened by this money, I go, sound, thanks.
But I don't know, who gives things because they're... What have you got to be burdened with? Unless it's something bad. Like, please take this murder weapon that I used.
Cursed monkey's paw. That's what you take this cursed monkey's paw from me. It only gives you 5 wishes. Wish wisely.
And hail Satan.
Hail Satan for this monkey's paw.
Okay.
All right. So we're all happy with that.
Well, I'm happy with that one. That's cool.
Acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all you have obtained. So this brings us back to Crowley a little bit, in a way, the magic side.
How does that apply to what happened to me with where the magic sort of worked?
Well, if you deny, if you were to say, well, I was just thinking about her because I was thinking about her while I was performing some self-gratification.
Feel the magic, baby.
Feel the magic, baby. If you said that when you shot, it would work.
You just made me sound so.
So yeah, if you don't say it works, let's say that in like 2 weeks' time, after continuing doing your little ritual, right? I assume you've now changed the mental image.
Oh no, I'm sticking with it.
Oh right, sticking with it. Okay, fair enough. So if you then turn around to us on the next episode and go, you know what? Got back with that ex I was wanking about. But nothing to do with the magic, I'm telling you. Nothing to do with it. She'd dump you the next day. That's what that's supposed to be getting at.
Right. Okay, so if it works, this works out. And this is like a live, real-time experiment, guys. I'm not masturbating as I record, I promise.
He's not.
We banned that after the last incident.
yeah, that didn't go down too well with the boys. Okay, I'm going to continue.
He was a college boy and Gaz wants to play the biscuit game.
Destroy them biscuits.
Oh, we forgot that about the Crowley. Basically, really quickly, just take this into your lug holes. Crowley used to believe in making biscuits that were made out of periods and vaginal juices and a bit of semen all mixed in.
Yeah, don't play the biscuit game with him.
Yeah. or go to his petting zoo. Okay.
Right.
Back to the rules.
So, number 8. Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself, which I think the internet could learn a massive lesson from.
Fuck yeah. Dude, it's like men our age complaining about One Direction or something. It's like, that shit's not aimed at you, man. Just don't expose yourself to it and it won't affect you. You don't need to be complaining about it. It's not manufactured, made, or marketed at you, for you. It has nothing to do with you, dude, unless you're of a certain...
No. I have no problem with the actual marketing of these bands to children rather than the bands.
Well, yeah. And they're fucking porno videos.
It's a whole different episode of the sexualisation of children in the media and
music.
So, I mean, it wasn't the Sun or the Daily Mirror showing a few years ago, showing a picture of Madonna's 11-year-old daughter in her first bikini at the beach on the front page. I mean, what the fuck's that about? Do you know what I mean? It's didn't Primark catch some flack for selling a preteen bikini? I mean, what the fuck?
There's definitely something going on with that, because things like, I don't know, I sound a bit like an old man, but you remember what music videos were like when we were young?
Yeah.
And then I see something now, not that I very rarely see a music video of any kind.
Shaking it,
Holy fuck, I genuinely feel like, oh shit, that's a bit much
so
for me.
Sexualized.
It's like, that's... I know what I'd have been doing if I was 15 watching this, so holy fuck, this is better than the video I stole from my brother's room.
All the naughty bits were blurred out.
I assume your brother's watching Japanese porn, obviously.
The first porno I stole from his room, looking back on it, how tame this is now compared to what fucking kids can get access to now. It was softcore, and there's soft jazz music playing.
Channel 5 porn.
Jazz flu, yeah.
All tits, no bush, yeah.
If you wanted porn, you had to buy a magazine or find one in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Why was it? There was always porn magazines in the woods. It
really was. And do you know how it was a thing? Because everyone has a memory of it, no matter where they lived.
Yeah.
Maybe back in the day, I've thought about this. Maybe it was just, there were a lot of people who they didn't want to stash a porn mag in their house.
Yeah.
They just literally had to go out to the middle of nowhere to get off. Yeah.
I mean...
It's a bitch, isn't it?
You could literally look at the top shelf in the news
It's pre-internet.
And see it.
So now, do you think the modern equivalent is...
Dumping a USB
somebody
stick.
finds a fucking iPhone crusted in cum in the woods. Some dude's been out there frapping it up to fucking YouPorn. Because he can't get away with it in his house. And then he accidentally dropped his phone. Some kid oh no.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, it was years before I figured out that vaginas didn't have staples. There's always that full page spread, man. I was like, nah.
Good old wood porn.
Good old wood porn.
Why were we always in the woods when we were kids? What the fuck?
Well, we had an healthy, active outdoor childhood, you know?
I mean, we had the Nintendo and the Master System.
I was going to say,
and then the Mega Drive.
My Mega Drive didn't really have a save function on most games. So, you know what I mean?
No. After them little yellow chips came in.
Yeah, and you used to have to write down a fucking 15-digit fucking code.
Fuck yeah!
It takes 20 minutes to type the
shit. Literally, an entire
one wrong.
I had an entire notebook in a drawer under my Mega Drive. My Mega Drive sat. And I would every single save code, even the cheat codes, written down painstakingly. Every single, Jesus.
Kids don't know that.
They don't know they're born. 40 terabyte, 40 fucking gigabyte Xbox, 200 gigabyte Xbox Ones, and a 16 megabyte fucking drive. It was pish, but it was a god to me. Sonic 2 was the best game in the world ever.
This level 2, the Chemical Zone.
Oh yeah.
Fucking love that. It's frustrating, but God, that's a good level.
Well, my first computer was the Amstrad CPU.
Same here. The Amstrad CPU 464, the tape loading fucking deck.
It was my elder brother's.
Tape loading deck. I bought Outrun when it first came out. But all my pocket money on it. It took an hour to load it. This shit. I was so distraught.
Sometimes it would crash, man. You've been loading it for 10 minutes and it fucking just freezes.
I had.
What the fuck was that noise? Why couldn't they not have that noise?
It was an awful noise, and the screen had flashing bright colours. Probably why epilepsy is so prevalent in our generation.
But because it was the 80s, like,
No one
doctors
gave a
were just like,
fuck.
oh no, kids are pussy. Fuck him.
I had Predator
Give him
right,
some coke.
for the Amstrad. Right, remember when I was like 6?
Yeah.
Like, you bought a second-hand computer, job lot of tape games, like Predator.
Yeah.
It took half an hour to load that fucking game, right? None of the controls in the book matched up to what actually fucking happened on the keyboard.
Oh man,
Right?
keyboard controls.
Keyboard controls, yeah?
Fuck.
Right?
No.
You got one fucking life. One life, right?
Live it.
You died. No, you run out of ammo because I figured out what to move and shoot.
Yeah.
You run out of ammo, and it was in the book. It was saying press like the down key and 0 to pick up ammunition for people you killed. Did not work. Did not work in the slightest.
Oh,
you ran out of ammunition. You got shot. Guess what? Another half an hour's fucking loading time.
Oh, no.
Right? None of this instant respawn shit, man. We had it tough. We had it
So
tough.
that's why we decided to, in a huff, switch the fucking computer off,
Yes.
go out in the woods and look at some fucking sticky
Exactly.
old porn.
Exactly. And he made men of us.
Yeah! Look at us now. Oh,
Still wanking.
still wanking. Just not in the woods.
Yes,
Well,
sometimes.
not usually.
I'll go back for nostalgia reasons.
I dump porn in, I leave it a week, and then go back and find it. I give porn to random dog walkers in brown paper bags and say, don't start in the woods for us, mate. And then go there a week later and find it.
Treasure hunt.
This is geocaching for me. Geocaching, finding porn in unusual places.
Filthy geocaching.
Oh my god, that might be a multi-million-dollar idea.
We could just gross each other out with the sickest things to find. That would actually catch on with perverts.
Exactly.
It really would.
Oh man.
Oh, white dog shit. This stuff is so rare you don't see it anymore. Starts rubbing it all over his face. And aggressively jerking himself.
Right, actually,
Oh,
You blow the tone.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Getting back onto the
back to Satan.
the 11 satanic sins, rules of the earth.
Okay.
Now, I want you to pay special attention to number 9, Mike, because I know you've got a segment coming up where you're going to try and prove this is wrong.
Okay.
Right?
Go on then.
Do not harm little children. I think we can all agree on that. Right?
How are you going to say that's wrong?
Because you're going to do the satanic ritual abuse thing, and I maintain it isn't Satanism, it's something else. I think it's a name
Carry
that's
on,
given
then.
to it. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Put that one under your hat, put a pin in it, whatever you want to do.
Hang on though. If a kid is really out of line, you know.
I don't think we're talking about clip around the
Clip
ear. I
around
think
the
we're talking about some more serious stuff.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I was going to say, I got smacked when I was bad. It did me no harm. Yeah. I mean, I've got
You had
this tip.
smack.
Yes, lots of it, and it's been a horrendous journey coming off of it. But I think we can all agree I'm actually doing quite well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
allegedly.
Thank you very much. And last night was just a little blip. These things happen, and I wasn't doing heroin last night. To anyone listening, for fuck's sake.
Gaz, it's not have a $400 a day heroin habit.
I've got a fucking job.
You were just sorting coke out of a goat's artery.
It wasn't from a goat's bum either. It was a CD, like a normal recreational.
Does it usually have it? I have no idea. I've never done that.
Moving on.
Anyway, okay, next one.
It was-
Do not kill non-human animals unless you're attacked or for your food.
Totally down for that. I agree with that.
I assume for your food is like you've got a steak, you're in the woods, working as a wood porn, and the wolf attacks you, and you're like, oh shit, I can't kill the wolf.
That's my porn, Wolfie! It's essential to my survival.
If you're protecting wood porn, it's okay to kill wild animals.
That's survival. Because, look, if you're a hunter...
Oh, actually, I think all for your food may mean like you're literally hunting for
You're a
your
hunter,
food.
yeah. He's saying...
I'm not about your steaks down the local supermarket.
No,
Because
we're on about like...
Because I actually agree with that, because I don't like...
Well, no,
fox
for
hunting or
your
anything.
food, I mean, I suppose it's like a killing within reason. Isn't it?
Anybody who goes out, in my opinion, with a bow or a rifle, actually hunts something down, takes it back home, skins it, butchers it. That I honestly think that's just nature and within reason, as long as they're. But there are laws and there are limits to what they can do. But I do not have a problem with that. So I agree with that. Killing animals for fun is just no one can ever
No.
Justify
That's where most serial killers come from,
psychotic
that's
baby, yeah, about to say.
Sorry.
And yeah, if a big bear's about to fucking skull fuck you, then and you got a gun, then yeah, I'd pop a cap in his furry fucking eyeball.
Skull fuck will be skull fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not one of their laws, though, sadly. School fuck will be school fuck.
That should be written at the front door of the Church of Satan.
School fuck will be school fuck.
That does actually kind of go with the...
Good.
Yeah, okay.
And 11, last one. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him.
Oh, fuck. I like that.
Destroy him.
Destroy him. That's
Destroy
I'm
him.
quoting that.
But it
Destroy
could
him.
be, that's vague. It could be verbally destroy him.
Yeah, yeah.
Mentally destroy him.
Professionally destroy him.
Yeah, or literally physically
Double tap
kill him, then destroy his remains, I guess. So
Double
there's
tap him
nothing
in the
left.
forehead, drag his body to the woods, bury him in a shallow grave, let the foxes do their work, cut his hands off, feet off, eyes out, hair off, pour bleach on the body, bury the body, yeah, let the animals finish it off.
Huh?
Not that I've looked into it.
Yeah, that's a little...
Don't find your porn there.
Nope.
It's quite full on, that one, I've got to say. Destroy him. You know, I don't know, it makes me think of violence straight away, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree with, like, the first bit. It starts off okay, that one. And they just escalate, like, that
Destroy him
escalated
is a bit too much, yeah.
quickly. Maybe a light, you know, a backhand.
Yeah, a
Be
pimp slap.
gone with you.
A pimp slap.
Yes. On your way, you filthy scoundrel. Here I am wandering through open territory, not bothering you in the slightest.
Just looking for porn?
Yes,
Are you
looking for some wood porn, and along you come bothering me. Now, I could destroy you, but today's your lucky day, dear chap. I'm going to boff you on the chin, and off you go.
I will slap you with my pimp hand, sir.
Yeah, I can't say I agree with that one.
Yeah, I quite enjoy the character pause. I've got to go for a piss.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so the final sort of tenets of the Church of Satan, and our Anton LaVey part of this thing, because he's an interesting guy. He plays the calliope. He was all about.
Is that creepy instrument?
Oh yes,
Okay.
playing the circus theme. I'm sure.
It sounds like an STI.
I heard, I don't know how true it is, that when he died, he recanted everything.
Yeah, but let's face it, there's a
And he
lot.
said, oh my god, I made a huge mistake.
There's a lot of all that crap going on. I mean, Henry VIII allegedly repented on his deathbed. I mean, it's.
What was he got
Deathbed.
to repent against? What, did he suddenly realise that, oh shit, I'm about to die in case that God thing?
Well, apparently he saw
true.
something as he was dying, like an apparition or something, and he said, oh god,
Oh,
what
he
have I
was
done?
tripping.
What have I done? I made a huge mistake and he died.
Bet he was on drugs
Is
at
that
the hospital.
folklore or truth that I couldn't
Yeah.
find?
It's, well, the Church of Satan doesn't seem to think so.
No, yeah, they exist to this day, I presume, in strong numbers,
Yeah.
probably.
So, first on the list, the 9 satanic sins, stupidity. Top of the list for satanic sins, the cardinal sin of Satanism. It's too bad that stupidity isn't painful. Ignorance is one thing, but our society thrives increasingly on stupidity. It depends on people going along with whatever they're told. The media promotes a cultivated stupidity as a posture that is not only acceptable but laudable. Satanists must learn to see through the tricks and cannot be afforded to be stupid.
Well, you can't get any better of an example than Donald Trump.
Yeah, or our own election over here where the media was saying Corbyn's done everything apart from shagging Anne.
I wouldn't mind if he shagged my aunt. Although she is, at the time of recording, quite dead. So actually I might retract that and probably definitely judge Jeremy for that. I wouldn't be singing that fucking catchy little... I would literally just be stoic. That
What
was
do you think
not cool, Jezza.
Did you
Not
watch
cool.
Did you watch him at Glastonbury?
It did, yeah, it
Did you
did.
think?
I thought he was pretty cool, man. A politician being treated like a rock star. And,
Pretty mad, isn't it?
yeah, it's quite cool. I just hope it's not all... The thing I worry about is, I think I mentioned this on the last episode, sometimes people are more swept up in something without quite truly believing in it just because it's a thing happening, and they might drop off.
Because it's trendy, like.
Yes, like, and it's trendy to sing that song and to be, yeah, fuck Theresa. And yes, the young vote did go up massively, but will that happen again? Will they stick around, or will a lot of them drop off and get bored of it? You know, I'm just...
No, eventually at some point, the interest will wane.
Yeah.
Because the Glastonbury thing was a great attempt to put yourself... The great way, sorry, not an attempt, it was a fantastic thing, was to put himself, yes, I'm still here, basically. Here I am.
Yeah,
doing
I'm preaching to the
I'm
converted.
preaching to the converted.
I mean, you got
He literally
300,000
was.
people calling your name. It looks impressive.
Yeah. So you've got that. So you're spreading your message to people who may not have been so convinced about you earlier. But eventually, we're going to run out of events like that for him to appear at. You see what I mean? So
Definitely.
he's got to keep. But he's been ripping up the Prime Minister's question, so I'll give him that. I've been watching.
To be fair, just this week he's been at that miners thing in Durham. Another 100,000 people out chant his name.
Well, this sin, though, to get back to this, because I agree with the second half bit about, seeing through the
lies
media. So I think I can speak for all three of us. We would probably consider ourselves people to see through when we're being fucking blatantly mugged off. By just because it's on TV, we're not going to just.
Or Facebook for that matter. Facebook's the worst for it.
Newspapers, we know how it works. But the first bit though, because stupidity does fucking piss me off. It does. Yeah, and I'm stupid a lot of the time in a lot of things. But how am I to judge someone for being stupid? They were born just. Because unfortunately, some people just have 9-volt brains. They
do.
Not as bright as other people.
And you could say it's a failure of society.
Or school.
But some people are.
Is it right to judge that?
Can you really,
person,
if someone is genetically just a bit dim, can you correct that? You can make them strive for greatness, but they will be limited by their own intellectual capacity.
Because you can educate an ignorant person. I think, because he said ignorance somewhere in there is all right.
Ignorance is one thing, but society thrives increasingly on stupidity.
See, if someone's ignorant of something, you can make them aware of it, and they'll become unignorant. But if someone genuinely doesn't have the cognitive capacity to understand a certain concept, then you've got no way of getting it to them.
The problem with stupidity is they're not aware they're stupid.
But listen, there's levels, because we're sitting here like we're not stupid, but put me in a room with the world's greatest physicians and, I'm a fucking... I literally might as well put my pants on my head and sit there and slap myself.
Even me with my physics B.
Even Mike and his B in physics would feel inferior. And here's me with just a C.
There's levels to it. So we're sitting here saying, we can't fuck the stupid people below us. Well, we're not saying that, but we could. But then, like I said, there's people way smarter than us that can do the same to us. And then we're like, hey, fuck you, buddy, don't kill me with your Satan knife. It's not my fault.
Don't give me with your wavy Satan dagger.
Yeah, I'll try and learn. I'll really try.
I mean, imagine being in a room with Hawking, deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku, and you listen to them chat away about.
Put me in a room with Trevor fucking McDonald and I look like a tool. Do you know what I mean?
He only read the news, he's not that great.
He talks very posh.
I thought he said Ronald McDonald.
Even him, he's fucking...
Well, he got a lot of the beef.
He runs a successful, some would say, successful chain of restaurants. I'm a tool compared to him. Ronald fucking McDonald. I could knock him out. That's a joke. I don't want to fight.
He's probably good as a clown. They're not trying to fight. Right, the second one, we've got pretentiousness. Empty posturing can be most irritating and isn't applying the cardinal rules of lesser magic. On equal footing with stupidity for what keeps the money in circulation these days, everyone's made to feel like a big shot whether they can come up with the goods or not. And that's not pretty reflective of modern times. I mean, you've got these city bankers. They're not very good at the jobs. They've got in there because they're the old school tie network. Yeah. Oh, you've just lost the entire London Stock Exchange on an afternoon's bidding. Don't matter, mate. Here's a £2 million bonus.
Yeah, but then the flip side to that is I'm not that good at my job, and my boss tells me about it often, kind of daily, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, but you're not empty posturing, saying how wonderful you are at your job. You're not strutting like a peacock as a corporate banker. And
I don't pretend that my shit doesn't stink. I'm like, I know, I'll try harder tomorrow. Oh, man.
Sounds like pride to me.
Well, yeah, in a way, I suppose it is. It's just...
And he said it was all right, so bit of a contradiction.
Well, no,
don't be pretentious, though.
Yeah, no, pride's one thing. Pride's in accomplishments. Pretentiousness is in something you haven't done, but you're claiming that you're good enough to do.
Yeah. I was
That's what I'd
thinking you're
argue
better
with
than
that.
people. Like just
Yeah.
maybe when having no reason to,
Yeah, but that's the same with pride, isn't it?
No, pride is you're taking pride in accomplishing something. You've got to have done it to have
There
pride
are different
about it.
kinds of pride, though, aren't there? We're back on pride again, but there are different.
Oh, we don't get bogged down in thesaurus here.
There's been
Yeah, let's carry on.
too proud to admit you're wrong. That's not a good thing. But then, like I said, proud of something good you've achieved. Is that thing okay? That's different than being arrogant about it. But anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
I still prefer to be humble, though. I think that's better than pride. But go on.
Right. We'll do number 3. Solipsism. Solipsism. I'm saying that right. Solipsism. How would you say that?
Solipsism, I guess.
Number 3 there.
Salafism.
Salafism.
But there's no hate.
No,
Fuck it. It's number 3.
Number 3, anyway. Check it out. It's churchofsatan.com.
Yeah.
There you go. It can be very dangerous for Satanists, projecting your reactions, responses, and sensibilities onto someone who is probably far less attuned than you are. It is a mistake of expecting people to give you the same consideration, courtesy, and respect that you naturally give them. They won't. Instead, Satanists must strive to apply the dictum of "do unto others as they do unto you."
Golden rule.
It's work for most of us and requires constant vigilance lest you slip into a comfortable illusion of everyone being like you. As has been said, certain utopias would be ideal in a nation of philosophers, but unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately from a Machiavellian standpoint, we are far from that point.
Well, that Machiavelli was a knobhead, but
You tell me about Machiavelli. I've heard the reference, but
I know what it means to be Machiavellian. It's to be sneaky and underhanded and scheming, plotting, isn't it? So I guess
he
the
wrote a book,
man
didn't he?
did something.
The Little Prince.
right.
It was a book about.
Was that a Disney film?
No, that's Little Prick.
Sorry.
Yeah. I know, that's who goes to see those
I
films.
might-
Sorry. Yeah. There was loads of them in the cinema today.
I might be completely mistaken, but I think that's what it was called. And it was about him, like Gaz says, about plotting for power.
Right.
And it gave you like a strategic way of getting to the top.
Oh, so don't be like a main character from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now he's saying,
No, you
Read that
shouldn't
again.
do. Yeah, you don't do that. Don't do that.
read that last bit again then. Machiavellian.
Oh, it is. We are far from the point of being a nation of philosophers, effectively. So basically, not everyone
Yeah.
is enlightened as you are. So don't try to push it on them.
But the Buddha.
Exactly like we were just saying about the
Wait,
last
look,
one.
Don't project your reactions, responses, and sensibilities onto someone who's far less attuned than you are. So if we're doing this podcast, and chances are we're kind of preaching to the converted people who have got an interest in this as it is. We're very unlikely to get new listeners with an episode about Satanism.
My mum might listen to one, maybe. Oh, not this one.
Not what's coming
Did we
up
use
to
my
it.
real name? Never say my second name.
I don't think we ever have said it. You're
No, we
okay.
haven't. My friends listening will. Yeah, they better listen.
Chances are you're probably going to promote it on Facebook though, so...
Oh, yeah.
So she's going to...
Gary.
Yeah, I'm Gary now.
Gary.
John.
Gary.
John Gary. Gary John. We'll change it every week. Just pick me a new name every week. Anyway.
We tried that on a previous podcast with Mike.
did
It
we?
didn't work.
I'm full of shit ideas, man.
He killed himself. Oh, he was like a Spinal Tap drummer. He killed him. He died every week.
Oh, right, okay. Not you. Somebody who did a podcast with you didn't actually kill themselves, did they?
No.
Oh, that's okay. Then, 'cause I was going to say.
Not yet.
My girlfriend left me. I mentioned that.
Our listeners might be right now.
Probably.
This very well make it in the final.
All three of you, I just want to say.
Tom Moms.
Thank you.
Kill yourself in the name of Satan.
Cheers, and I was joking about the stuff I did last night. I have been to bed. I've slept loads.
I was a responsible adult.
Yeah.
I spent the night in a Welsh B&B. Fucking.
Really?
Yes.
Well done.
Quite pleased with it.
It wasn't a goat, was it?
No, it wasn't. There was no cocaine or goats involved. It was a human female.
Hey!
Get
Having
in.
a beer, Ben. Sorry.
Cheers.
I was using my own tears as masturbation.
I would have done if I didn't have fucking Pilly Willy. If anyone doesn't get that joke, pills make you really shrink.
Right, we'll move on from that. Number 5, herd conformity. See, this is really speaking to me now. That's obvious from a satanic stance. It's all right to conform to a person's wishes if it ultimately benefits you. But only fools follow along with the herd, letting an impersonal entity dictate to you. The key is to choose a master wisely instead of being enslaved to the whims of many.
Yeah.
Makes sense, sure? Yeah. We all...
Don't nobody tell me what to do.
Well, you voted for Corbyn, so you're following somebody in that respect, so... Is that we've already talked about that? So
yeah, but then again, what should you do?
you didn't vote because you were told to. You proclaimed loudly last episode how you were really into it all.
I'm a mindless automaton.
Trouble is, you haven't got much choice of you. Vote for Corbyn or vote for.
But it's not just about voting, though, is it? It's about everything, you know. It's so. I mean, for example, none of the three of us sat here are wearing anything remotely that could be deemed current.
I think I'm pretty modern.
No
I'm pretty modern. This is a tall 2017 T-shirt, so I'm pretty modern. I'm down with the youth. These T-shirts were sold out at Download.
I've got Superman slippers.
He's down with you. You got Iron Man socks. We're cool.
An Optimus Prime shorts.
An Optimus Prime shorts. A Sega T-shirt.
Maybe this is why she left.
No, the Optimus Prime shorts are fine.
No, I promise, guys. Like. I'm not going to bring this up all the time, anybody listening. I'm sure in 6 months' time...
That's a long episodes away, though, mate. That's a long episodes away.
I'll definitely stop mentioning it, you know.
You're optimistic about the length of this life about this podcast?
No, I'm sure we can get like 10 listeners.
Yeah, man.
10 regular listeners. We're good.
Please pay your dues.
We haven't set up Patreon and all that. We will.
We've done herd conformity. We're all quite happy with that. Yeah? Sounds sensible.
You know, I don't conform, man. Well, I do, of course, but in some ways, but not in others.
Tuned in and dropped out, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Apart from like 9 to 5 when I go to work and suck the corporate cock of the masters that enslave me.
Other than that.
But then I finish and I do what the fuck I want, bro. I'm crazy, man. I'm out there. Woo! You just calm me down. No, okay. Next sin.
Lack of perspective.
Yeah,
again, this can lead to a lot of pain for Satanists. You must never lose sight of who and what you are. What a threat you can be by your very existence. You are making history right now every day. Always keep the wider historical and social picture in mind. That is an important key to both lesser and greater magic. See the patterns and fit things together as you want the pieces to fall into place. Do not be swayed by herd constraints. Know what you are working on another level entirely from the rest of the world. See, that sounds like fanaticism to me. It's like, that's like your Timothy McVeigh's, that's your Japanese apocalypse cult.
That made me think of, though. That made me think of, are you familiar with the Dirty Harry movies?
Yeah,
and the sequels. Yeah. I think it's the first sequel where the one-liner that he has, because he has one in all of them, is man's got to know his limitations. That's a shit Clint impression. But
no, I enjoyed it.
That's the first bit of that, of what he's saying is basically, or to quote The Rock, know your role, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's kind of saying, don't get ideas above your station, know your limitations in a way, but then it all get to the end, starts to sound to me a little bit
weirdly,
a bit egotistical and.
But I think it's a
threat bit for me. What was that thing about the threat?
Basically, you must never lose sight of who and what you are and what a threat you can be.
Why would? See, that's
by your very existence.
We're all potentially capable of evil things.
I think, that's exactly what it is. So if you're
potentially,
there's a Hitler inside all of us.
There's a Hitler inside all of us. Don't lose perspective of who and what you are, and don't start the Fourth Reich.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm on board with that.
Okay. Yeah.
No one wants Fourth Reich.
Be fucking.
I'm sure some people do.
And be kind to animals. Definitely. Fuck.
Right,
so I wasn't speaking to anyone in particular. I don't want to insult our audience, you know.
Number 7.
Satanist fucks.
Go fucking
Hail Satan.
I don't know, this Church of Satan, this particular, what we're talking about now, this book, what this guy wrote, LaVey, this I'm liking and could get down with. I think the other things that we're going to get into on the next episode or part about the child killing and the ritualistic. That's something else.
I genuinely don't believe that.
What this LaVey guy is saying in this, I quite like this. This is, to me, all quite... Because it's all how you interpret it. The audience is master of the meaning. So it says destroy the guy if he's in your face. But you take that as, you know, destroying someone could literally be like, fuck off, mate, or I literally will fucking atomize you with a fucking punch. Yeah. And then they leave. And you may have destroyed their confidence and ended the thing.
I don't know. I think destroy it pretty much means what?
It's destroy is quite a definitive word, I suppose. But this... But my point is, you can interpret. You don't have to follow that slavishly, do you? Because there's no end game in this. This isn't like Christianity where you've got to follow these things to get into heaven. This is just a rules to kind of, he's suggesting, I think, to better yourself and to live a more
a lot of
better life.
Sensible.
So it's not about getting into some magical place after we're fucking dead. It's like make the most of this one.
Yeah.
And I think it's up to you whether you can follow some and not follow others. If you want, because, I don't really want to
just be the best person you can, isn't it? The best person you can be. Everyone's got different levels of what they think is making them a better person.
I listened to, it was on Joe Rogan, some philosopher was talking about it's important in life to see the monster inside yourself, recognise it, and accept that it is there. And just accept that you're in control of it, and it doesn't manifest, that's part of finding peace with yourself, and not because we all think fucking mad things sometimes, I think I'm down for most of what this guy's saying so far.
Yeah,
I don't want to destroy anyone.
And if Heath Ledger got with this, we might have had a Joker in Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. They're letting the monster inside consume him, which is what you do.
Or if he
just the hero instead.
Or if he just read the fucking labels, or if that twin bitch that was in there with him, one of them, allegedly. Anyway, I might have the story wrong. Let's go to the next thing.
So number 7, forgetfulness of past orthodoxies.
What does orthodox mean?
I will read the description. Be aware that this is one of the keys to brainwashing people into accepting something new and different, when in reality it's something that was once widely accepted but is now presented in a new package. We are expected to rave about the genius of the creator and forget the original. This makes for a disposable society.
Well, it's Christianity, because it's fucking ripped off from ancient other things, isn't it? And I've seen Zeitgeist, guys. Twice.
I never have.
Oh, you'd love it. That's where I first was exposed to the fact that it's religion after religion throughout fucking history is just ripped off the same idea, and it's probably based on the fucking sun rising and going down at night, good versus evil.
Yeah. Actually, I think I did watch
the re-rising.
I did. I made you watch.
Yeah,
that's the first 20 odd minutes is literally about what I just said.
But I was a bit stoned and it was a little bit heavy for me. I know that tale anyway, because in case the listeners haven't, but I'm quite anti-Christianity and religion in general. So
Ben hates everything. He hates reggae.
I'm quite a hateful individual, actually. Hail Satan, though.
But you got laid last night. You should really be into reggae today.
I got laid last night and this morning.
Hey!
And in the afternoon.
Oh, dude, is that why you said smell my fingers when fuck.
You're looking to lick your face.
He told me to smell his knob.
Yeah.
Did it smell like goat?
Okay.
Did you sniff his cock like this?
It was boats and hose.
That's not goat noise, is it? That's a sheep. Well, I am half Welsh. Can't help myself. So, next
There's a lot of barring last night, funnily enough. That's because there was sheep in the field next to B&B. Nothing to do with my sexual appetites. I did not.
They were being aroused by Ben's sexual veracity.
They were. They loved it.
Blood sugar baby, sex magic. My girlfriend left me. Okay,
but you're practicing sex magic, so there's hope. Counterproductive pride. Number 8. That first word is important. Pride is great up to the point you begin to throw out the baby with the bathwater. The rule of Satanism is, if it works for you, great. When it stops working for you, when you've painted yourself into a corner, and the only way out is to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I wish we could compromise somehow, then do it. So basically, don't be afraid to apologise.
Can't argue with that,
No.
can you, really?
You can't, no.
No, it literally, that's just being
Don't be a stubborn bastard,
Just,
effectively. Don't be a stubborn bastard. If you're in the wrong, say I'm sorry.
Isn't that, what's the 7 deadly sin that's don't cut your nose off to spite your face?
Pride.
Oh, that is pride.
This is counterproductive pride. So.
I did say that. I wasn't the smartest. You can't argue with that. If you're wrong, say you're wrong. There's no harm in that. Takes a bigger man to apologise, everybody.
As we're told. As we are told.
Yeah.
It beats cutting your nose off.
Yeah, certainly does. Pride before the fall, and all that business.
Can't snort cocaine up a goat's arse without a nose.
And if you do, you should definitely say sorry to the goat.
Oh, my mother knows you. Literally right against the balls all the time.
Probably the least of your concerns when you've been balls deep in its ass.
I'm high off my face on home at this point. Anything's going.
I suppose it'd be quite easy to fuck a goat if you've got long knocks. You can grab hold of them horns, can't
Yeah.
you? Fuck me. And do it on the edge of a cliff.
Oh, where you wellies.
And you got wellies and you put the back legs in the front here. No.
Yeah.
So where's the nearest goat?
Number 9.
Christ,
We'll move on quickly to number 9.
So it's been 2 weeks.
Lack of aesthetics. This is the physical application of the balance factor. Aesthetics is important in lesser magic and should be cultivated. It is obvious that no one can collect money off classical standards of beauty and form most of the time, so they're discouraged in a consumer society. But an eye for beauty, for balance, is an essential satanic tool and must be applied with the greatest magical effectiveness.
That's bollocks.
It's not what's supposed to be pleasing, it's what it is. Aesthetics is a personal thing reflective of one's own nature, but there are universally pleasing and harmonious configurations that should not be denied.
Yeah, we
So
can all
basically,
agree, like
I
Scarlett
think-
Johansson, universally, pretty much can all agree that's a beautiful woman, right? Isn't that what you're saying?
Yeah. So,
But I don't think.
so
Look,
like, I'm going to come to porn and watch
I
this.
always
Like,
come to porn.
right, I'm going to watch some porn and watch this perfect. Think about it. Right, let me finish. Let me finish.
But sometimes I watch
Let me
some really fucking
I
ugly
don't
women
think
on
you finish
porn.
right now.
Right, well, I only watch really attractive women on porn. Yeah.
I hate myself, Ben.
Because they're that representation. And sadly, I'm breaking one of the sins because I'm what the media tells me is a perfect representation of a woman,
Yeah, okay.
and I'm watching that.
All right.
But at the same time, I spent the weekend in a Bosch B&B, pounding away with what the media's telling me isn't the perfect representation of a woman, but I still found quite attractive anyway.
Please tell me she doesn't listen to this.
She may do in the future.
No!
Who knows?
Don't!
Well,
I
Can I
might
just say-
edit this part, but that's my example.
can I just say,
So I know there's a difference between what the media's telling me is a perfect woman, so the Pamela Anderson of my youth, and to everyone I've ever slept with who, quite frankly, wasn't the Pamela Anderson of my youth. Because I've never fucked that good-looking woman of my youth, my teenage years.
right,
So,
but isn't beauty in the eye of the beholder?
Yes.
no beauty's in either beer holder.
For
You all know
example,
that.
For example, I did. I've talked about exes a lot in this episode, haven't I? But I have been thinking about them while I wank, and I wank a lot.
Sex magic!
Blood sugar baby, pass me the towel.
Oh, you have a towel. Wow, that's my class.
Well, I wipe my own spilled seed from my own skin.
I used to have a sock.
Right.
Pleasure.
Now, I didn't, Ben mentioned it earlier, so I'm not bringing this up to be big-headed, but I once did, the girl I was on about earlier, managed to go out with a girl who did some modelling. She was fucking attractive. And so my last girlfriend, it was always a thing with her where she was like, oh, that girl was so attractive, and could never understand that I found her even more attractive because I fucking loved her more.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah.
Yeah,
It is
so
in the eye of the
I
fucking-
think it's bollocks that way.
That one, I'm not. As you also say now that your appearance, basically, you know, take a bit of pride in your appearance.
Take a look at your appearance, but if you're happy with who you are,
Yeah, what does it matter?
then that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about beauty.
But it's also,
no one
couldn't
should
it be
no,
taken
I know
as-
no one should collect money off because you look good.
but also, couldn't it be like things like, don't turn up to a job interview in like for example, the shorts I'm wearing now.
With an orange shorts.
Yeah, but for a job interview there is.
Nope.
Unless I'm applying to be.
If you turn up for a job interview with me in Optimus Prime shorts, I don't want Optimus Prime shorts.
They're kind of Bermuda-y. It's kind of. If I was applying to be
I'd say, are the Optimus Prime shorts? Then we discussed the 1986 movie for a bit.
Okay.
And then I'd say,
and
well,
then you tell me we had a great chat, but
no, I'd give you the job.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
No, I'd actually give you. If you could discuss the 1986 movie originally with me in a job interview, right, and
sort of job interview was for like the position of brain surgeon, and I think we've established clearly so far.
But I would know from your CV that you're not a brain surgeon, and by the fact you have 0 qualifications in brain surgery, you're already kind of doctoring.
If you got 0 qualifications, to be perfectly honest.
But if you're going for a warehouse picker's job, and you turned up to work in Optimus Prime shorts, and I turned up for like, the interview in Optimus Prime shorts, I would say, well, what about the 1986 movie, right?
Because it is the original G1 Prime on these shorts. I'm not a total fucking geek, guys.
You got the touch, you got the power, the genocide of the Autobots, you've gone on about this.
Yeah.
But I would be like, right, well, he's discussed that quite convincing with me, so he knows about that shit. He's probably quite similar to me. You can have the job, mate. That'll be it for me.
Okay. But I still think it's
you could be a serial killer, I don't care. We can have a geek chat at some point. I'd be quite happy.
I just think it's better advice to, whatever the job, dress smart, or as smart as you can. It's just that's just good life advice. I don't know, that one's a bit, because I don't get it, what he's saying. What is he saying? It's a sin? Because that's a sin, isn't it? So is it a sin to not take pride in your appearance? Is it a sin to make money off your...
Yeah, it's wrong to make money off how you look. I suppose, in theory, how you look is either surgically enhanced or a genetic accident. You know, that's what your looks are.
Hey, and I am one happy accident, baby. My girlfriend left me!
You want a Johnny Bravo thing going on?
I'm quite quiffy at the moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of a peacock thing. I'm trying to attract females. Or goats.
Gonna buy my pith helmet. That's peacocking. Oh, loads of attention down there. Fucking great.
Oh, excuse me, audience, but can I borrow a cigarette filter off somebody?
Yes.
It's a little behind-the-scenes action for you guys.
Yeah.
We smoke and drink. We're not very professional, but I believe.
But we have journalistic integrity.
In a weird way. I mean, we make notes and stuff, so we're kind of pros.
Well, sometimes we just read it from the internet.
Yeah, we press pause when we go for a pee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we should start wrapping up the this part, because we've done over 2 hours on this, because basically Satan is going to take. It's going to take a few episodes, to be honest.
What I want to do is try and fucking find out more about this Molech fucking character.
Yeah, man. Well,
it's going to be some kind of I'm going to quote Ghostbusters. There's some crusty old Babylonian guard coming to my town, stepping on a church.
Is it true? Yes, it's true. This man has no penis. That's the best line ever.
Yeah. You know what? Fucking love that movie.
Me too.
Never watched the remake. I never watched it. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I did.
Was it worth it?
It wasn't as unpleasant as I expected, but I just couldn't help thinking, what's the point? I just kept thinking, what's the... I mean, you know, well-made film, you know, I mean, the actresses were pretty good.
I've got nothing against
what's the point?
I've got nothing against the female actress thing. So I admit, it might be a little sexist, but I don't find women as funny as men.
Well...
I don't. It's just...
Well, you hate reggae. But,
no, I'm joking. I just don't think there are often exceptions. Catherine Ryan is a very funny woman.
Very sexy too.
Very sexy too, but thanks, Mike, for bringing that down.
But why the hell didn't they just... Because, like, all 3 living Ghostbusters turn up in cameos towards the end.
Yeah, so why not put them in?
Exactly, playing completely different characters. It would have been a lot better. I could have accepted it a lot more if, like, they trained these new girls. Like, and that would have made way more sense. But, anyway, it didn't upset me as much as I thought it would. And, yeah. Anyway,
where were we?
Back to you. We're just saying, we're wrapping up this kind of...
double episode. This will be end up being a double episode.
And
try and do an hour.
Next episode, we're saying things are probably going to get darker. Because we're going to go into that. Because this stuff, like...
Let's wrap this episode up and then we'll chat about this. And I can always keep on record.
essentially the Church of like Crowley. I think he was just having a laugh. He just wanted to fucking get high as much as he could, really. This guy
was good old Victorian excess, basically.
Yeah, and he was just
Edwardian
he was a rebel man. He was, he was fucking. What are you rebelling against? What do you got? Goats? Oh, fuck them. This church.
We've really taken to goat fucking.
Yeah, I'm quite fascinated.
Of course, the baphomet is the symbol of the Church of Satan.
Oh, I'd fuck a baphomet. So,
I want a baphomet.
the Church of Satan, I think, is just kind of a bit of a philosophy, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think that's what it boils down to. Is like, you don't have to believe in a God, just be the best person you can be, and don't do this shit.
Yeah.
Because that's bad.
Well, that's the atheistic, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the atheist version. The Satan thing is just like a symbol we can get behind.
Well, what about the theist version, where Satan is a deity to be worshipped and blood sacrifices and all that?
But that's then. Go on, sorry.
Because he could have picked any name. I was just thinking that. Did he pick the Satanic Bible just to fuck you to the actual church? Because for them, Satanic is that symbol that the
You know what? I think it's because it's Sal.
Yeah.
There
is a PR element to it. It sounds fucking
made
cool.
reference to carrying that round in his religious school just to piss people off. And you know what teenagers are like? You put something called the Satanic Bible. I read the Witch's Bible as a sort of 14, 15-year-old just going to go and freak with my parents a little bit, you know what I mean? And then,
I was going to say, has anyone seen you reading the Satanic Bible and
actually, there hasn't. I've just been kind of sat there. Although I have
in a dark room with candles.
Yeah, wearing my Jedi Knight dressing gown with a hood up and a pentagram on the floor. The pentagram, I found out from that, is always actually inverted. So the two spikes are up and the one spike is down.
Okay.
And that symbolises the horns of Baphomet and the little sort of goat beard.
Shall I tell you which political party changed their logo? The stars went upside down.
The Chinese Communist Party?
Satan Party?
The Republican Party in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't the Republican Party an elephant?
Yeah, and on it there's 3 stars, and they inverted the stars some time ago. So now they're in upside down.
But if they followed the Satanic Bible, they'd be much less cunty, wouldn't they?
This is my point. What he's saying is brilliant. It sounds fantastic. But is that what it really is?
No, I think it's something deeper and darker and more ancient. And I think Satanism is a name that's been slapped to it for the masses.
This guy's just
what about the
took
ritual
the words.
Yeah, but how many...
That book's got nothing to do with it, though. That's what we're talking about now. That Satanic Bible, I believe, is so far removed from... That was written in 1966. He was probably a bit of a hippie, a bit
he was a carnival organ player, you know.
And I think he's just used the word satanic. Just A, like you said, Ben, that's going to fucking sell.
Yeah.
And it sounds cool.
Yeah.
And B, it's really... Because even in 1966, it was still not the done thing to openly, publicly... Look what happened to John Lennon talking about Jesus. To denounce the church and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a middle finger. And I honestly think that is utterly nothing to do. The ritualistic abuse and killing of children and the pedo rings, and that is an entirely different level of ritual. That is nothing to do with this LaVey guy in this book, I think.
Okay, but if you're going to want to get people into your church, you're not going to start coming out and saying, oh, yeah, come to our church, by the way, we murder and torture little children and rape them and...
Yeah, one of the main sins is don't harm children.
Yeah, specifically. They don't say that in them Christian-y ones, and look what them priests do.
Exactly. When the priest came out, when all this stuff came out, and the Pope, I don't know if he spoke about it, but the high people in the
cardinals.
Yeah. And they said, oh, there's nothing to worry about, it's just a few bad apples. Did you believe them?
No.
So why the hell are you believing that guy?
Because that's one of the it doesn't say anything about fucking children. The Ten Commandments.
Because the Satanic Bible as well,
sins.
And the Church of Satan, this particular branch started by Mr. LaVey, is not a multinational, multi-billion-dollar rich thing that can
it's probably pretty rich, but it's certainly nowhere near as much as the Catholic Church or Scientology.
Look at Scientology. When they first indoctrinate you, it's just about clearing your thoughts and making you a better person. It's not until you get higher up that you're told to believe in all this alien shit.
And you pay them money.
Yeah, you got to give them money first.
Masons, the lower Masons know what the people, the 33rd degree Masons know.
No, they don't. That's
Okay,
what a future
well, that's
episode
I'm
as
just
well.
saying for that.
I just think it's-
But you're laying that down as your groundwork, as your
Yeah.
10 Commandments. These are the sins you don't do. Don't harm
Yeah.
children. It's laid down. It's
Yeah.
there. It's like,
And then
don't
once you get
get
to a
to
certain
kill.
level, he comes aside and says, hang on a minute, mate, all that is bollocks, just to get people through the door. You know, the real thing is about killing children and sacrificing them. We don't want everyone to know because then people won't join the church. So it's just the top.
Well, why would you
people.
go with that then?
Because he's.
I think
Because at that point you indoctrinate.
I think that what we're going to talk about in the next episode, I have looked into and listened to some stuff about it, and I'll be fair, it fucking disturbed the shit out of me. Because I was thinking to myself, well, how would you stop that? And the only way you can stop it is a full-scale fucking revolution.
I think Mr. LaVey, in my opinion, a bit of a philosopher, a bit of a good marketer.
Yeah, I think he's more of an atheist than anything.
He was just trying to write a book, in my opinion, that disproved the fucking. I mean, I haven't read it, but
you can. You can borrow it.
I don't think he's got anything to do with the owl gods and the ritual.
Listen,
sacrifice.
nowhere in that. I mean, I'm about halfway through it. As it mentioned burning a fucking owl sculpture.
No, it might not be. You might be right, but I'm just saying. It's a bit cautious. I caution to it.
Well, I'm not going to join them.
But then again, this is the modern day representation of Satan. And let's face it, we've seen the films, the cartoons, and the comics, and we think Satan's probably actually a bit of a cool guy. Yeah.
Who's the best TV
best,
film?
Al Pacino for me in Devil's Advocate. I like the fact they just gave him complete freedom because hoo-ha is like hoo-ha. And chatter around on his high heels because he's like 5'3" and Keanu Reeves is 6'4".
I'll go with that.
And I just think he was, and people disagree with me.
De Niro and Angel Heart did a good job.
He did with the Lou Cypher thing, put me off.
I don't necessarily think he was the best at all, but I just love the film End of Days because I'm a massive Schwarzenegger
Gabriel
fan.
Byrne,
Just because there's a line, the line in the apartment where the devil's arguing with Arnie and Arnie says, "Fuck you, you're fucking choir boy compared to me."
yes. And you know what? I can imagine Arnie legitimately shouting that at the devil.
He tried to knock out the devil, beat him in a fist fight. He literally tells the devil, "You're a fucking choir boy compared to me." Apologise to my idol.
And you know what? I really liked that film. The ending sucked a bit.
I'm going to make a stunning confession, guys. I saw that in the cinema.
I saw it in the cinema as well.
Because Arnold was my favourite, one of my top favourite action movie stars. I'm of that age.
And I also
it was the first movie where he played a vulnerable character. And the scene in the alleyway where he gets beaten to shit by a gang of people, I fucking wept. I was like, oh, this isn't how it goes. Like,
why don't you fight back, Arnie?
Why aren't you gunning them down?
And his mate betrays him as well, and then he can't pull the trigger.
Himself.
He can't pull the trigger, and he's like, oh, and Gabriel Byrne is just like, okay, back to our phones. He clicks his fingers, he just sets on fire again, and you're like, holy shit, this dude's fucking evil, man.
Good movie, man. Underrated.
It's just the end, giving me strength, and you're like, oh man.
He does he tries to do a bit of acting in that one.
He does, yeah.
It's a good film, though,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the blind Polish nun giving the prophecy bit, and the secret underground Vatican war room was kind of cool.
Jigsaw face man in that film as falls to pieces.
Who is the guy that is the who plays the adoptive father? That he's the surgeon who delivers the girl. And he's been in like loads of films, and he's never had a main role. He's always been the evil bad guy number 2. He looks a bit like Christopher Walken. That's how I can describe. He's like a cheap Christopher Walken. Oh man, I'm gonna have to Google that shit now. I've got to do it. I've got to do End of Days. Can I talk about something else?
So we're trying to wrap up, aren't we?
Yeah.
On what we've talked about today, which is a lot of go fucking and.
Cocaine snorting.
Ben got laid and I didn't.
Oh yeah!
I was up all night, but not in the way I would have liked. So I'm floundering. What we talked about today, Crowley. Let's sum up. What do we think of Crowley? Do we think he actually had any mystical, magical? Was he a master wizard? Was he very good at magic? Did he summon demons? Or was he a fucking rock and roll star, just slamming bitches and snorting whales and injecting coke and fucking rent boys and fucking goats and whatever he wanted to fuck? Oh,
It's
dude,
Udo Kier.
No idea.
Oh, he's been in He's in Blade. Iron Sky. Yes, he was the fucking one of the Nazis in Iron Sky.
Good movie. But how have you showed me his face rather than just telling me his name?
That's his picture on IMDb. It's not great.
Yeah.
He's
That
like a low
guy.
budget Christopher Walken.
That
Oh,
guy.
yeah, I know him.
Yeah. He's done like so many
Oh,
films
no.
where he's like the secondary character. Right, sorry.
Yeah,
I
so-
had to share that discovery.
Crowley,
Crowley.
whatever
Mr.
it is.
Crowley.
But to be fair, Ozzy's got an accent.
Mm.
Anyway, we'll sum up him and then Mr. Well, we've kind of done LaVey, haven't we?
Yeah, we've
I
done
think.
LaVey.
You're basically saying, aren't you, mate? No, you're saying it could be what we're saying it is, just a bit of fluff, really. Or it could. We don't know. Do we?
He's seriously fucking
Again,
evil.
we're all speculation. It could be the gateway into something heavier. But I don't think it is. I think you have to be in the highest echelons of power to get... I don't think you can pick up the stuff they're reading at Waterstones or
That's my point.
have it ordered at Amazon, you know.
Well, he was in a satanic order.
Mm.
He was head of the satanic
But
order.
it's semantic. I honestly just think he's took that... Just because it said... If it was called something completely different, I don't think you'd have that.
No, if it was a hippie Bible,
Mm.
80% of it, it'd probably be the same.
Yeah, but he also,
Exactly.
it's really more of an atheist book, and obviously as Satan is seen as the enemy of God, that's kind of what you are in a way.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing. It's like, yeah, we're going to call it a satanic Bible. You can carry this around and it'll piss off the Christians.
Mm.
But it's got nothing to do with Satanism. It is
Yeah.
just clever marketing.
I'm just saying,
It's
3
advising
years...
yourself into a teenage boy,
Mm.
like coming into his own, trying to figure it. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I can be myself, and I can try and be a good person.
Good,
rather
makes
than-
you question things.
Yeah.
Nothing bad about that. What I'm going to say is that 3 years down the line, is that what it is, or does it morph into something else?
No, because it's not asking you to sign up for anything,
No.
is it?
No,
So
you
you say-
you go there willfully, but you'll go to church for 3 years.
But I don't think it asks you to go anywhere, does it?
Not so far. There's links on the Satanic Church
about
website
you.
to find your
It's a
local
self-help
college.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
That's
best
what I mean.
description. I think it's a self-help book. And I think an interesting experiment would be if we could magically type it up and call it the hippie Bible or a different word, the hipster
Yeah.
Bible, and then changed every time it says in there Satanist, Satan to hipster.
Yeah.
Give it to some fucking 17-year-old with a fucking top knot and a ridiculous Georgian style fucking beard. If I can torture him long enough without fucking going on a killing spree.
If only they had Elizabethan Ruffs.
ugh.
I'd like to see them in Elizabethan
God.
Ruffs. I want to see Ruffs come back.
Oh God, I do not. We could give that book, this version, to someone. Say, hey, tell us what you think of that, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's pretty. You know, see if they suddenly are like, do you know what? I think I can go further with this and start sacrificing small boys.
Yeah.
I don't think. You know,
I
I
have to
think.
look at the satanic calendar,
Mm.
because there's a certain night, like you said, isn't there, certain rituals to perform, isn't there?
There is, but it's whether that book doesn't make any attempt to
That's
ritual. I mean,
magic, isn't it?
in fact, there's a chapter in there called How to Sell Your Soul, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm always up for a bit of that. I'd have sold my soul. If that book told me how to sell my soul, I'd have fucking done it by now.
For money.
I'd be on a jet in Dubai, Skyping you fuckers. You know.
But does
Right.
sell your soul mean for cash, or does it just mean?
Well, that's what I was hoping.
No. I think
And sadly,
cash.
it doesn't give you any advice on how to do that. No ritual. I was very disappointed, to be fair.
You can sell your body.
Yeah, I tried that.
You're
Didn't
not going
work
to
so
the
well.
right place. You should have gone to that fucking town where Crowley went to buy his fucking
shit,
drugs.
Yeah.
Coining it in.
Yeah, because it'll high off the fucking. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, fantastic.
I just think we should all take a moment to give Mr. Crowley a round of applause for being able to maintain an erection whilst high on cocaine and heroin and weed. Oh, man, what a guy. I think I'm going to buy a Crowley t-shirt.
So what we're saying is, to sum up in its entirety, and I'll bring this to a conclusion. Crowley, interesting ideas, extreme methods.
Mm.
LaVey, pretty common sense ideas.
Yeah.
Is there something darker to it? Is that just the introductory level? We'll find out the next episode, and Mike presents his case to both me and Gaz about satanic ritual abuse.
And if
I assume in our highest echelons of government.
If I've sacrificed a child in the meantime,
Then you're going to side with Mike in this.
I was wrong.
It gives me me versus you two.
and I'll blame Ben for reading out those hypnotic.
Hail Satan!
Right, guys, I gotta go find a goat farm.
Catch you guys later.
Yeah, so I'm Gaz. Thank you very much. If you have been, thanks for listening to us waffle.
We'll let it down, it'll be fine.
I don't think we should.
If I went for a piss, you could quite clearly hear
It
it.
adds to the charm. We're just three normal guys in a living room chatting shit about things.
Yeah.
It's okay. Piss sounds are fine. We'll try not to make a habit of it, guys. Okay, bye.
I'm Ben, and I am your archpriest of Satan for this episode.
And we are his acolytes.
Yeah, and I like reggae.
I don't.